When you're first starting at a new music program, getting off on the right foot is extremely important. Whether you're fresh out of college, starting in a new program, or a seasoned veteran who's moved to a new school, setting yourself up for success is crucial, and we're going to tell you exactly how to do that next. I'm extremely excited about this session. The guys think back to the first times they walked into a band program, the lessons they've learned, and what they would tell themselves if they can go back. This topic sparked some great conversation that produced tons of valuable information just for you. If this is your first time joining us on this channel, we take over 150 years of experience in music education and provide opinions, advice, and helpful insight to help you and the activity grow. So, we've got 5 things you must do the second you accept that position. Make sure you stick around to the end because any 5 of these could be that one thing you're missing to level up your program. So let's get started. We're going to go out to Chris for that first must do.
My do is do your research. Learn about the school, learn about the city, learn about the previous directors, what songs have they played, when were they their largest, when were they their smallest. Learn as much as you can about your principal. My current principal graduated from Florida State, so I make sure that she knows that I spent a little time in Tallahassee. My previous principal did not, so he didn't need to know that information. Know who your middle school feeders are. Know in your area who are the, I don't want to say the best band directors, but who are the most seasoned band directors in your area? Who are the people that everybody goes to for advice? Who are the bands to listen to? Who are the bands to not listen to? And then once you've done all that research, do the same thing for all of your middle school feeders. And I think just having all that knowledge can help impact decisions you make along your first year and then into the future.
So yeah, do your research. That is some great advice. You're going to see that do your research is going to be an underlying theme to all the tips you're going to be getting in this video. All right, for the next must do, we're going to go out to Larry.
I mean, the biggest thing is, as a young band director, everyone has all these great ideas. They're going to come out, they're going to revolutionize the genre. They're going to be the greatest thing ever. And that's great. That's awesome. That is awesome. But you got to reach out to people that you trust. You got to first have a support circle of people that you can trust, that you can call, because you're going to be frustrated. Your first year teaching or first year teaching, you're going to be days you just cut water. You're just going to get through the day. So having people that you can trust, that you can reach out to, that can give you advice, can give you tips, that maybe you've gone through what you want to. You can play recordings of your band too. You can talk about literature. I mean, so many bands, I hear so many bands every year where the kids are good players, but the literature choices, the director's pick, just don't fit the band. I mean, they're great songs, but if it doesn't fit your band, it doesn't matter what it is, And I'm all for challenging my group and pushing my group, but you also have to, know your limitations. So just having that support, whether it be a person or people or peer mentor or whatever that you can go to and ask for help and get advice and just vent and, whatever, because it's a hard job. I mean, 99% of the time, you're the only band director in your school. Maybe you have an assistant, maybe you're the assistant, but probably not. So, English teachers, they can go to that veteran English teacher in the department or the department head. You don't have that at your school. So you got to reach out. I was fortunate when I first started. I had about 3-4 directors, older directors that I could go to, that I made a ton of mistakes and they slapped me around and they put me on the right track and, it got better. So that's what I'd say. Just have that group of people, have that mentor team or person or people, and then reach out to them. Don't try to do everything by yourself.
I feel to be like living proof of what you guys are saying. I feel like I'd be very lost if I wasn't lucky enough to have you guys in my corner when I was coming up, and I'm still coming up, and I could, even if I wasn't active in the group chat, even just like seeing what you guys were talking about and thinking about was stuff that I was not even near thinking about. So surrounding yourself with good people, I think, is super important.
Hey, to go off of what Chris just said, just because someone is a seasoned band director doesn't mean that's the person you should take advice from. And that's good. That goes with doing your research. Because sometimes those guys will be the first ones to come up and tell you, hey, this is what you should be doing.
Longevity doesn't necessarily mean competency.
Right.
Sometimes it does, not always.
So again, great advice that goes back to doing your research. For the third must do, we're going out to James.
Well, I'm actually going to piggyback a little bit on what Larry said. So once you have that person to talk to who you could trust. Make sure you're honest with yourself and listen to what they have to say. Sometimes, people ask for help, but they don't really want help. They want you to tell them how great they're doing. And then when you don't tell them how they're doing, you tell them the truth, then they get offended and kind of shut down. So I would say, be honest with yourself and step back for a second when someone gives you if you ask someone you trust for advice, take their advice.
That's a great point. You'd be surprised how many people are out there that just want their hair stroked and to be told they're pretty. For our fourth must-do, we're going out to EDR.
You guys have said do your research, and knowing what I know now, and I think being a new director, you have no clue about this, but can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. There are some band directors, seasoned band directors, that are phenomenal at having talent, but they don't know how to develop talent. And so if you find yourself walking into a band room that the program is a juggernaut, and sometimes you ask those directors how to do certain things and how do you make this happen, you don't really know if they're one of those masterful educators that just knows fundamentals, or they're just one of those directors that they have talent and they just know how to, maintain and take talent to the next level. And I think sometimes we get lost in that, and we don't know. We have no clue, So sometimes I used to think sometimes directors would just mislead, but oftentimes as I got deeper into the game, I just realized you're just not one of those guys that can tell me fundamentals on how to develop a beginning band class. You're just one of those guys that's, that's phenomenal in front of your wind ensemble because you have great talent. And I think you have to differentiate knowing who are those kind of guys. And there's nothing wrong with them. I think both band directors can be successful, but you just have to know, not only their program, but knowing their track history of, their success.
So again, you got to do your research so you know who you're talking to and where they're coming from with their information. Before we get to that last must-do, we are only scratching the surface of the different types of research you should be doing. If any of these tips made you think, wow, I should try that, hit that thumbs up and let us know in the comments. If you have any ideas on types of research that maybe we didn't mention, go ahead and put those in the comments as well. You never know who's down there reading and who you can be helping. Now, for must-do number 5, take inventory. The second you walk into that new school, take an inventory of everything you have. What do the instruments look like? How many do you have? What condition are they in? What's in your library? What kind of concert band and jazz band music do you have? What's in the office computer? Is there an inventory in there? Does that inventory match the inventory that you took? Is anything missing? What's the status of the band parents? Is there a board? This is all information you should be putting into a toolbox. These are all your resources in which you should be programming your marching band, your jazz band, and your concert band. Whatever is in that toolbox is what you have to work with. So make sure that you take account of everything, put it in that toolbox, and program to the resources you have.
I'll piggyback on what you just said, JR, a little bit too. Knowing your instrumentation that fits your band, what you're going to play. I see a lot of bands both on the field marching and concert band too. And I said this a little bit as well before, but you got to pick stuff that's strong in your band. If you only have 2 trombones and a baritone, probably Shostakovich 5 is not the piece you should be doing as your opener in the fall. It's just not going to happen. I know you've always wanted to do it, and that's great. And as a young director, I remember the year clearly. I said, you know what? We're going to make this show. This is such a cool show. We're going to do it. It's going to be awesome. It was not awesome. It was rough. It was a rough year because I learned the hard way. So you have to know, like Jared said, you got to know what kids you have and can they play and what's going to make your band sound good. If you got a great clarinet section, then show them off. Do something cool. Do Molly on the Shore maybe.
So if you want to guarantee that you get off to a great start when you start at that new music program, there you have 5 great tips to help you. So thanks for taking the time to watch and hope to see you next time.